Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 30th, 2023 meeting of the Chatham Select Board. Please note, this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly thereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please notify the chair. Seeing none, pursuant to Governor Healy's March 29th, 2023 signing of the Acts of 2023 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 20, until March 31st, 2025, this meeting of the Chatham Select Board is being conducted in person and via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons that would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the number 1-508-945-4410, conference ID 203-386-491#, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Channel 18, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. First item I want to do is do a roll call for a quorum. Select Board Member Davis.
Present.
Select Board Member Dykens.
Present.
Select Board Member Shell.
Present.
And the chair as a here. So we are, and Mr. Select Board Member DeCastro is elsewhere. We'll leave it. Enjoying some vacation time. We have a basically straightforward, we have a couple sets of minutes tonight. We're going to go to public announcements and agenda item requests. We have a public hearing, and then we have our regular business agenda, which consists of several special one-day alcohol permits, the seasonal shellfish closures for Mill Creek, Taylor's Pond, Muddy Creek, and Champlain Creek. We're going to get an update on the reclassification on Riders Cove for shellfishing. We have our FY 2024 Orleans Adult Supportive Day MOA with the town of Orleans. We're going to do a couple board committee commission appointments later on the agenda and finish up the night with the town manager's report. So with all that being said, I'm going to start with the minutes of May 16th, 2023. Any corrections, omissions? Mr. Select Board Shell.
I just have one on page 6, the second full paragraph, 2, 4, 5th line down. I would propose to strike the word after organization, strike the words "and that they," and insert to maximize the prospect they will, and then continue with be sensitive to that.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions or omissions?
I'll move the minutes if there are no other.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Select Board Member Davis?
Yes.
Select Board Member Dykens?
Aye.
Select Board Member Shell?
Aye.
And I say aye, so minutes approved. Minutes for May 23rd, 2023. Any corrections, omissions, corrections?
If not, I'll move the minutes of May 23rd.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Select Board Member Davis?
Aye.
Select Board Member Dykens?
Aye.
Select Board Member Shell?
Aye.
And I say aye. All right, those are approved. Public announcements and agenda item request. Start with the board. No? I have one, just for many, we just heard this news actually following our last meeting, so I would have announced it before, but sadly, we were notified of the passing of Richard Finnegan on May 20th. He served on our HBDC commission. He had a very distinguished career, and you know, he's survived by his family and our own Scotty Finnegan from the Monomoy Regional High School school committee. So just want a brief moment of silence for Mr. Finnegan, if we could. All right, thank you very much. Any members of the audience with any announcements or agenda item requests? Any members of the viewing audience or online have any announcements or agenda item requests?
I don't see any, Mr. Chairman.
All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to our regular agenda, starting with a public hearing for the sewer flow request for Salon Fabulous at 595 Main Street. I will ask the clerk to read the public notice, please.
It'd be great, I would read it, but I don't have it.
We don't have one.
Do not.
Oh, that's a good point.
There's no advertising requirement.
No advertising required? Then,
Okay,
all right, so
Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob.
Thank you, Robert Duncan, Director of Health and Natural Resources. This one is what I hope to be relatively quick and
Yeah.
easy. Salon Fabulous is planning to open in High Wheeler Square, which is currently retail space. So it only has a sewer flow allotted to it of 78.6 gallons per day. For a hair salon, it's 100 gallons per seat. They are planning to have 6 seats, so that leaves a shortfall, if you will, of 521.4 gallons. This request was reviewed by the Water and Sewer Advisory Committee, and I included the early draft of their minute notes from that meeting where they did vote to support this request. So I'm just here before you today officially asking the Water and Sewer Commissioners to approve the request for an additional 521.4 gallons.
All right, questions or comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move to support the request of Salon Fabulous, 595 Main Street, Unit 35, for an increase in sewer flow of 521.4 gallons per day.
I second it.
Do I hear a second? I guess technically, if this is listed under a public hearing, I'm going to ask for audience or public input if there is any out there.
I see no one online.
See, no, okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have a second?
Yes.
We have a second, thank you. All those in favor, Select Board Member Davis?
Aye.
Select Board Member Dykens?
Aye.
Select Board Member Shell?
Aye.
And the chair says aye, so it is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Public comments on our business agenda.
Do we need to close the public hearing?
You know,
Well, see.
I know what the protocol is,
the-
when it wasn't advertised.
When it was, if we, I would, yeah, see, I go back in the planning board days, we had a different kind of set of protocol. So we didn't read a notice. This was,
I'll move to close the public
There you
hearing.
go.
that's
I'll
fine.
I'll second.
Belts and suspenders, but, okay, so Selectman Member Davis,
Aye.
Dykens,
Aye.
Shell,
Aye.
myself, okay. All right, now moving on to our regular agenda, public comments on our upcoming business agenda. Anyone from the viewing audience in here? None. Anyone online?
I see no one online that wishes to speak.
All right, fair enough. Moving on. Special one-day alcohol permits. We'll start with the Chatham Chamber of Commerce and Merchants Association for July 11th, 2023, 4 to 6 p.m. at Cape Gould Park. Just for the record, I'm a member of the Chamber and Merchants, but I figured this is broad enough, I'm going to participate. So, Mary Kavanaugh, I believe.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So the Chamber and Merchants would like to add an event to our Art in the Park exhibit that we have all summer long, and it's called Meet the Artist. So it would occur on July 11th with a rain date of July 12th. It would go from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It would be a ticketed event, and people would come and be able to meet the artists of the whales that are in the park. People who are attending will receive a wristlet so that we can know who's part of the event. They will also receive one drink ticket for either a beer or wine, and then we're also going to be serving small charcuterie boats that will have like fruit and cheese and salami, things like that inside it. And so we're hoping to get the one-day alcohol permit so that we can serve alcohol at the event.
Great, thank you very much. Questions or comments from the board? Ms. Davis?
How are the tickets being sold, Mary?
They are going to be sold on Eventbrite. So we'll probably have a banner on the fence at the park, and it will have the link to the ticket sales, and we'll probably post information on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, additional questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant a one-day special permit for wine and malt beverages only for Tuesday, July 11, 2023, from 4 to 6 p.m. at Kate Gould Park, Chatham, to Mary Kavanaugh as a representative of the Chatham Chamber of Commerce and Merchants Association, and to further grant a second one-day special permit for wine and malt beverages only for Wednesday, July 12, 2023, from 4 to 6 p.m. at Kate Gould Park, Chatham, to Mary Kavanaugh as a contingency should the July 11 event be canceled due to inclement weather.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Dykens?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
And the chair says aye. All right, one more.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Tuesday's tough. Maybe we won't meet that day.
Thank you.
We'll talk about our summer schedule
Yeah,
pretty
we
soon.
should, yeah, okay.
Cape Cod Fishermen's Alliance on June 14th, 2023, from 5 to 7 p.m. at 1566 Main Street. I believe Jen Allard is online. Jen, are you there? No.
See her. I don't see her. She had indicated that she would be, but this is a pretty straightforward
Okay.
application. As you all know, the Fishermen's Alliance has a Meet the Fleet event held at their headquarters every month, every other month or so, and this is for their event on June 14th for the Meet the Fleet event.
All right. Questions or comments from the board? Pretty straightforward. I mean,
Mr. Chairman.
yes, please.
Move to grant a one-day special permit for wine and malt beverages only for Wednesday, June 14th, 2023, from 5 to 7 p.m., 1566 Main Street, Chatham, it might even be West Chatham, to Melissa Sanderson as a representative of the Cape Cod Commercial Fishermen's Alliance.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, Select Board Member Davis?
Aye.
Select Board Member Dykens?
Aye.
Select Board Member Shell?
Aye.
And I say aye, so, yes. Oh, hi, Jen.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I had trouble getting on.
That's okay. We have approved it. We can always go back and reconsider it if you really want to.
No, that's okay. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Jen. Good luck with the event.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right. Seasonal shellfish closure of Mill Creek, Taylor's Pond, Muddy Creek, and Champlain Creek. Let's see what we got here. Traditionally, we read the little notices in our packet. I will turn it over to Select Board Member Dykens.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. These are shellfish rules and regulations dated May 30th, 2023, closed, effective June 1st, 2023. The waters and flats of Muddy Creek, southwest of a line drawn across the mouth of the creek as defined at low tide, and northeast of the Route 28 bridge are closed to the taking of shellfish by permit holders until further notice. Select Board. Another set here, shellfish rules and regulations closed, dated May 30th, 2023, effective June 1st, 2023. The waters, flats, and all tributaries of Champlain Creek, northwest of a line drawn from the outermost piling at the town boat ramp northeasterly to the no shellfishing sign in the marsh on the opposite shore, are closed to the taking of shellfish by permit holders until further notice. Signed, the Select Board. Third notice, shellfish rules and regulations, May 30th, 2023, closed, effective June 1st, 2023. The water and flats of Mill Creek, north of a line drawn from the western breakwater to the eastern breakwater at the mouth of Mill Creek, and south of a line drawn across the mouth of Taylor's Pond, are closed to the taking of shellfish until further notice. Signed, the Select Board. And another shellfish rule and regulation, I believe this is the final one, dated May 30th, 2023, closed. Effective June 1st, 2023, the waters and flats of Taylor's Pond, north of a line drawn across the mouth of the pond, are closed to the taking of shellfish by permit holders until further notice. Signed, Select Board.
Thank you, Mr. Dykens. I will take that as a motion to approve those. Do I will hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Renee, do you have any questions or comments, or?
Nope, this is a standard annual closure of most of our seasonal areas.
Perfect, all right. So we have a motion, we have a second. Select Board Member Davis?
Aye.
Select Board Member Dykens?
Aye.
Select Board Member Shell?
Aye.
And I say aye, so approved for nothing. Update on the reclassification of Riders Cove for shellfishing.
Yes, good afternoon. I just wanted to keep the board updated on the continued reclassification of some of our growing areas. If you remember, we started this process last year with the reclassification of most of the Stage Harbor complex. And this year, they've moved to Riders Cove. So Riders Cove has, in years past, been classified as approved. That's based on water quality, but now because of the new mooring language in the federal government's standardized model ordinance that all of these states need to comply with in order to keep their growing areas open. They're just periodically going through these water bodies, the Division of Marine Fishery, that is, and reclassifying these areas. So Riders Cove is next in line, and because it has 20 or more moorings in Riders Cove, it's going to be reclassified as conditionally approved. We are attempting to keep this open on a year-round basis using the same types of justifications that we had for the areas in Stage Harbor, and that's based on the mobile pump out, the amount of patrols in the area, and the lack of overnights in that body of water. We will have federal agents coming to visit us again, most likely in August. And again, it's to look at the area and review the justification that we've presented to them and see if the state is within the compliance of the new language within that model ordinance. So after this, I suspect that we're going to move on to other bodies of water like Crow's Pond, Bassing Harbor, and then also Chatham Harbor as well.
Thank you, Renee. Questions or comments from the board?
Yeah, just a couple. Hi, Renee, how are you? So
Good, thank you.
They're even interested because of just the sheer number of moorings aggregated in an area? Does that pique their interest? Is that why?
That's the new language defining what a mooring area is. So if there are more than 20 vessels moored within an area, and I guess that's fairly arbitrary, but that is considered a mooring area, and then will need to be reclassified to a conditionally approved. That language was newly adopted again right around 2020. So this is all new territory for all of everybody. I mean, this is a national standard. So all the states that have any types of commercial harvesting for shellfish will need to comply with these regulations.
Okay, thank you, Renee. Yeah. It's not a slippery slope to being seasonally closed or anything, right? I mean, should we be concerned? I know we had a very similar conversation, I think, last year with Stage Harbor.
Well, we did receive the report from the federal agents on their visit last year to Stage Harbor, and there weren't really any red flags that questioned some of the justifications that we used to keep that area open. But it's fingers crossed. Again, we seem like we were in a very good position within that review, and we hope that will be the same for Riders Cove.
Okay. Thank you, Renee. Thanks.
Okay, additional questions or comments? None? All right, thank you, Renee, for the update, and please keep us posted as we navigate these interesting changes.
Thank you.
All right. FY 2024 Orleans Adult Supportive Day Memorandum of Agreement, an MOA, with to the town of Orleans for Rock Harbor Respite Program. Leah Lacrosse, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Leah Lacrosse, Director of Community Services, and tonight I'm here to respectfully request that the Select Board approve the FY 2024 Memorandum of Agreement with the Town of Orleans for the 7th year of the program. Funding for this program was approved in the 2023 budget in the amount of $12,500 $480. As you know, the town of Chatham does not have its own, doesn't have a space in our current COA for an adult supportive day program, so we depend heavily on Orleans to take care of this for us until such time that we can have a adult supportive day program of our own in the town of Chatham. This program is for seniors who are short-term memory challenged and who wish to join a supportive day program. This program previously was named the Orleans COA Adult Supportive Day Program, has been renamed the Rock Harbor Respite Program. During FY 2023 and year-to-date, we have 8 Chatham residents who attend the Orleans Day Program. And let's see, and currently right now, we have 5 of them using our transportation through the COA. And the proposed memorandum of agreement is I think, Select Board, Mr. Metters has the agreement, and it specifies the terms of supplemental payments, responsibilities of each municipality, and the duration, which is the fiscal year, July 1st through June 30th, 24. There was an increase this year, and that increase it's in your report, you'll see that the Elder Services of Cape Cod reimburses the program $50 per day per Orleans residents, $65 per day for non-residents. But this doesn't come close to covering the cost of administrating the program for Orleans. They intend to continue recovering the approximately 20% of the total cost that they never recover due to weather, closures, or sick days when clients aren't charged, but the actual daily cost for participants per day there is $95. The rate of $30 per day, per client per day for all communities participating in the Memorandum of Understanding is $10 per client per day, increase over last year. And I do want to clarify right now, Orleans does not have a wait list. They do not keep a wait list. But we do have 3 Chatham residents, in addition to those 8, who really would like to attend the adult supportive day program, but want to participate in their hometown, so they do not go to Orleans. They're waiting for the day that we can do that. And also, the director of the COA in Orleans, Judy Wilson, wanted me to clarify that and want you to know that there can be an extensive orientation program. Getting into that program, if they accept you today, it could be anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks before you begin that program.
Well, great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Questions or comments from the board? Mike?
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 questions.
Sure.
The first one is just a technical one. The funding for this is out of the 23 budget, which is just about done. Is that just because we fund it in arrears, or how, I mean, the period of time that's covered is next year?
Correct.
But the funding is coming out of the budget that's just about to end?
Last year, the funding was approved for the fiscal year we're in currently. $12,000 has been approved for next fiscal year.
Okay, but it says in the fiscal year 23 budget. Is that for the fiscal year 24?
For fiscal year 24, yes.
The next question I have is the $30, just to clarify, by the way, this program is open to residents of Orleans, Chatham, and Harwich, is that
Yes.
correct?
Brewster.
Brewster, I'm sorry.
And Brewster.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And is there a max on what they can handle at any given time? Is it 15, or is it some?
That's a
larger?
great question. It was 15, and they have increased it to 18.
Okay. The $30 that is not coming from the state, is that, do we pay that, or do we pay that with some subsidy or some contribution from the from the clients?
There's a three-part contribution for non-residents of Orleans. There's one part that Elder Services pays.
Right.
Then there's a portion that we pay, and then there's a portion that the client pays as well.
And so Elder Services pays $65, and then there's 30 left of what the cost is, and what I'm asking is, of that 30, who pays how much?
So Elder Services will pay $65 per day
Right,
per resident.
right.
The remainder, I believe that the participants pay $20 per day.
And the balance is paid by
Us.
Chatham?
Yes.
Okay, and the fee is different for Chatham residents versus Orleans residents? right?
Correct, yes.
And that is the 20 versus how much?
It's an extra, additional $10
Okay.
that we pay.
I think, I'm sorry?
That we pay. Orleans residents pay $10 less than we pay.
Okay. I think that's the only those were the only questions I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the board? Jeff?
Thanks, Leah. I just had a question on the amount of time it takes someone to get in. You said 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, or how much, for an orientation period? Or
Yes,
8 to
and
10?
she
Yeah, but
sent me
months.
the explanation, which I will read that paragraph to you. The application and onboarding process typically takes approximately 4 to 6 weeks it can be up to 10 weeks. And which included significantly, the average wait for the last year has been 6 weeks, with the only reason anybody has been turned away was that the participant did not meet eligibility guidelines. I think that they have to come and visit for a day so that both the participant and the Orleans staff can make sure that they're a good fit for the program, because they have to be able to verbalize their own needs. They have to be able to use the bathroom on their own. There are no nursing services at these programs.
Right, right.
And they have to be able to administer their own medications as well if they are on medications.
Got it, okay. All right, thanks, Leah, that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the one other question I had, which I neglected to ask. I mean, they say there's no wait list, but I interpreted that in terms of both the fact that there's a maximum number of people and in terms of what you've just described in terms of the application process, that really means that they don't give you a place in line, but you're still going to be subject to that maximum number of people if they're oversubscribed.
Correct.
And it's going to take, I mean, it's not a wait list, but you have
You may
to
not
wait
get-
considerable amount of time before you can get in, assuming you qualify. Is that a fair
Assuming you
assessment?
qualify, you're correct. And if they're at their maximum of 18 people, there could be people waiting, but they don't keep a wait list.
And do they prioritize Orleans over everybody else?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't have the answer to that question immediately, but I'm sure they do, as we probably would if we
Right.
had one.
Right, that's what I would think.
Yes.
That's what I would think, yeah. And in terms of qualification, there's no need qualification. In other words, it's not subject to income or any other economic type of criteria.
No, not at all. It's
You just have to be a full-time Chatham resident?
You have to be a Chatham resident, full-time Chatham resident, but, I mean, obviously, that you have to, again, meet the criteria. I think there's a lot of confusion that this is a program that's run with clinical staffing, and that is not the case.
Right,
There's
understood that.
Yeah, no clinical staffing, so, but of course, I'm sure there's a lot of caregivers that are, very desperate to have a break, and they might overestimate the abilities of the person that they want, caregiving, to provide caregiving to. So when they get there, there really is an assessment that has to be done to make sure that they really are qualified for the program.
And just to be clear, you have to be a full-time Chatham resident? You can't be a snowbird or a relative of a snowbird?
I believe you have to be a full-time resident.
Okay, thank you.
I do want to clarify, though, that is the rule of Orleans. If we had one here, we would accept full-time and part-time residents.
All right. Any additional questions or comments from the board? Entertain a motion?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Select Board approve and sign the memorandum of agreement between the Town of Chatham and the Town of Orleans for the Orleans COA Adult Supportive Day Program.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say, all those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Select Board Member Dykens.
Aye.
Select Board Member Shell.
Aye.
Select Board Member Metter says aye. That is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We have a series of committee reappointments before us. Would anyone want to do the honors?
I'll do bikeways.
I'll do the next set.
Okay, then.
I'll follow up.
Okay. So, yes, I move to appoint David Whiting to the Bikeways Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Do I hear a
Second.
second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, Select Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. Second.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Kay Bradley Bivens, or is it Bivens or Bivens, to the Bikeways Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Stephen Wardell to the Bikeways Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. Approved. Okay. Board of Assessors.
I move to appoint Robert B. Franz to the Board of Assessors until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters says aye. Cable Advisory Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint William Cook to the Cable Advisory Committee until June 30, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. Committee for the Disabled.
Jeff, go ahead.
Yep, Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Robert Lear to the Committee for the Disabled until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. All right.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Ragnhild Bjerke to the Committee for the Disabled until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Select Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. Community Housing Partnership.
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Katie Fitz Nickerson to the Community Housing Partnership until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters.
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Katie Scherer to the Community Housing Partnership until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters.
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Shirley Smith to the Community Housing Partnership until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Okay. Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. All right. Cultural Council.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Kathleen Jocelyn to the Cultural Council until June 30, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters. Okay. Economic Development Committee.
I'll do this one, Jeff.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint George Khalil to the Economic Development Committee until June 30, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Molly McGregor to the Economic Development Committee until June 30, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters says aye. Energy and Climate Action Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Brian Minor to the Energy Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay.
Just are we, this says Energy Committee. I take it that means Energy and Climate
Climate
Action
Action.
Committee? Yes? Okay, sorry.
All right. So
Go ahead.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Select Board Member Dykens.
Aye.
Select Board Shell.
Aye.
And Metter says aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Catherine McClellan to the Energy and Climate Action Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters, okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Rachel Durain to the Energy and Climate Action Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters says aye. Golf Advisory Committee.
I'm going to do this one too. Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Bruce Bogartis to the Golf Advisory Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters says aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Denise Yoakum to the Golf Advisory Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters says aye. Human Services Committee.
If you don't mind, Mr. Chair, I'm going to do this a little more efficiently. I move to appoint Susan Wickham, Gloria Hicks, Paul Brown, and Mary Hillard to the Human Services Committee until June 30th, 2026, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
That works fine.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
And Metters says aye. Last one, Open Space
I'll
Committee.
do that one. Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Gary Tennyson to the Open Space Committee as an alternate until June 30, 2024, unless sooner revoked or a successor is appointed.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Select Board Member Davis.
Aye.
Dykens.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Metters says aye.
Shereen, I was going to wait till the end. This would admit of a consent agenda.
Where's Dean when we need him?
Yeah.
Town manager report for the month of April 2023. Katie Donovan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, again, as always, there is quite a bit of information provided in the town manager's monthly report. But just to note a few of our long-serving members of Team Chatham. We have John Whittle, a police officer with 36 years of service. Diane Langlois, the secretary in the Natural Resources Department with 35 years of service. Timothy Hunter, a firefighter with 23 years of service. Brian Powers, a laborer with DPW with 18 years of service. Suzanne Frederick, a recreation coordinator with the Beach and Recreation Department with 16 years of service. And Christopher Vadarkis, a police sergeant with 13 years of service. There are a number of other employees that are mentioned here, serve with various years of service. I'll just go through their names, but Kristen Crusoe with 8 years of service, their GIS coordinator. Seth Carter, a firefighter with 6 years of service. Stephen Ricotta, also a firefighter with 4 years of service. And Peter O'Hara, also a firefighter with 3 years of service. We have Marcus I apologize for that, Lefegid, a DPW special equipment operator with 3 years of service. Lucas Amato, our health inspector with 2 years of service, and Jeremy Sinclair, who's also a DPW special equipment operator with 1 year of service. Would also like to mention some new hires. We have Benjamin Sacco, our new shellfish propagation specialist, and assistant shellfish constable. We've hired on full-time James Skip Woods as our mooring manager, and we've had a promotion within the Council on Aging. Jessica Rogers was promoted from program and outreach coordinator to the Council on Aging outreach coordinator. So.
Any questions or comments from the board on the monthly report?
Yeah, I just want to make a note that we're still looking for hires for the seasonal programs. I think there was positions on the back. Kenny, were you going to mention
Sure.
that next?
Sure, yes. We've got, still for our seasonal hires, we are looking for lifeguards, swim instructors, assistant wharfingers, laborers, and transfer station and recycling assistants.
Thank you, Katie.
And coming soon, is that, those are folks that we've made offers to, or they've been hired, or
Coming
adult
soon.
behavioral health community?
Coming sooner, I apologize for interrupting. Those are positions that have either been recently advertised or will be advertised in the near future.
Yeah, I know one of them listed is looking forward to seeing that posting because they're getting antsy. Cemetery Commission,
Okay, great.
the assistant there.
I'll mention that to our
Thank
HR
you.
benefits and
Great,
administrator.
thank you.
All right.
The bond rating.
Yeah, I just want to note, and you may want to elaborate on it, that our AAA bond rating has been renewed, and I guess we have an issue either coming up or just issued under that rating.
Sure.
Which is fantastic news.
It's fantastic news, and I think a more official announcement will be coming shortly. I think Finance Director Alex Halela will be here on June 13th, and we'll discuss that more at that time.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you. Final motion of the night?
So moved.
Oh,
Mr. Chair, just, you mentioned it, I know, but we should talk about a summer agenda so we can start doing some personal planning, if you will, going forward.
right, we'll probably put that on our next,
Okay.
We do have it programmed on for the June 13th agenda.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
when the full board is here.
Okay, thanks, good, thank you.
All right. So that,
Motion to adjourn.
second?
Second.
Okay, Select Board Member Davis?
Aye.
Select Board Member Dyken?
Aye.
Select Board Member Shell?
Aye.
And Chair says aye. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Night.